We're wrapping up the trip here, wrapping up our stay at Last Spike. First ride of the year. Gonna wave goodbye to the boys, but don't worry, we're gonna be back with them sooner than you think. Okay, wave goodbye to the nice people, Sean.
Bye, nice people.
Ben.
On to the next one.
Ben, wait, goodbye to the nice people, Ben. We're making a mile back to Alberta here while we got the chance, get the sled unloaded and stuck back in the garage. We got the sled back in the shop, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time and investigate the steering. In the last video there, you could see the steering flopping around, and even that, I guess, S module was flexing quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going to get that all fixed up, because chances are I'm going to need that sled again. If you're new to the channel, which a lot of you are, and a lot of you have been here a long time, you may know that I got the Alpha Turbo sitting over here. What? Matt has Alpha Turbo? Why not ride Alpha Turbo? The skid keeps blowing up on me. It's like every year something different. The first time an Alpha skid broke on me was arguably my fault. And then a couple years later, I had the shock fall out of it while on a trail. And then just last season, the whole either wheel assembly popped off the rail and piled up the track. This thing is one of the sickest Alpha builds out there, and I don't even ride it. So the plan is to get that up and operational. All the parts have been paid for, and they're just scattered around the countryside right now. So I need to go and collect them, because I do want to get this sled running again, because it is sweet when it works. I know I talked about dual railing this thing in the podcast and stuff. I won't tell you what I'm going to do with it, but I will tell you that it is an upgrade. Also with the turbo, I need to go and get the handlebars, the handlebar post, the steering post welded up for it, because we don't want to be like Ben and lose our steering going up the drainage. I can tell it's already cracked, and honestly, next ride would probably be its last, so I need to get that addressed too. Otherwise here, we're going to keep balling on a budget, and I'll keep riding the old sled. I don't really care. In fact, I'm going to make sure it works for the next trip in case I need it. I got some fun stuff coming up for you guys. I'm not going to talk about it because it's really annoying when it falls through. For example, the Tagger ride, when those electric snowmobiles came out, we were invited on the demo ride, but COVID shut it down. So I have something exciting planned for you guys, but I don't want to talk about it just in case it falls through. Really low on snow this year. It's been warm. Generally, when it rains in town, you'll see snow up top. But one of the problems this year is that rain in town, Revelstoke, Sycamoose, isn't necessarily equating to snow up top. Yeah, even right now where I'm sitting, it's like +5 mid-December, and it's been that way for the last like 3 weeks. It's been warm. So that does kind of screw up our Alberta riding plans a little bit with the weather we've been getting, and it looks like this is the winter and the Christmas we're going to get. Got a ton of parts here sitting around for the race summit, so we will get back on that right away, because I do want that to work, and it's something that we can ride around here as long as there's at least a little bit of snow on the ground. Fuel pump relocate, fuel pump rebuild. Got to investigate the primary a little bit. We'll get that thing finished and running and out of the way so we can start the next project. I still need to go to Sled Parlor and pick up the rear bumper for it. Right now, I'm just kind of working on everything so I can take my Christmas off. And then if everything goes right, something special right after Christmas. There's a ton of stuff to hit out there. I've already been home a few days. That's just kind of how my video schedule works now. So I've had time to look things over. And I just got to make sure that the white sled's ready to go out one more time, because I think I'm going to need it one more time. I know Sean has a bunch of stuff coming for his sled. He's got some BMP stuff he's going to be putting on his Polaris. So we get to see him. Check that out next time. I mean, I really do want to go pick up the next project right now, because we can keep going on this between rides. But space is becoming a big issue. There are 5 sleds in my shop here, and there's one that's away. So I need to finish off certain projects before I can move on to other ones. People asking about the M7 Big Bore. That was never a project sled. I bought that sled for the engine, the wiring harness, all the controls and that stuff, and we will be dealing with that down the road. The engine in the M7, big bore to an 800, piped, tuned, just about everything that you could have possibly done short of a turbo in that era to make that sled everything that it could be. And then that's the one that the Diamond Drive blew up on, and that's how I got the deal on it. If you haven't watched the video on that, that's actually a pretty sweet engine. So that's the M7 that's bored out to an 800, because in that specific year, there was no 800. That was 1 year before the 800, so people were big boring it. And I think I found out that that engine is actually tuned into like 185 horsepower, which makes it comparable to the Turbo Alpha in some ways. So of all the sleds we have sitting here, there's 3 of them that are actually souped up. So the Alpha Turbo, of course, the M7 Big Bore, and the Race Summit, which, if you've been following the video build series, is basically a Franken sled, an older 779 engine in it, and it was dropped into a slightly more modern chassis, and that's the triple. This thing is gonna scream when it's done. And then there is, of course, the Phaser with the 159 track. Been doing lots of videos on that. Did the engine rebuild, did a ton of stuff on it. The Phaser's actually ready to go. It's got a fresh top end. It's good for another forever, actually. Here's another thing I've been working on. Well, we've been complaining about this forever, so that's nice. That's finally fixed. So there's our first trip in the books. We got out, you know, relatively unscathed. I know there's been like a ton of posts, especially in the Sycamoose area, of people breaking the arms, and I guess we did take one out too. That wraps up the first adventure of the season. We'll be back with the boys sooner than you guys think. If the snow and the weather smartens up around here, I do have plans for Alberta rides, because we got quite the fleet here now. It's nice having this old white M8 that I'd ride, because it's a good sled for this time of year, because you can take it up the mountain and beat it up, and yeah, it doesn't matter. A good beater like that, don't mind taking the rocks. If you're new here, welcome. I know there's a bunch of you. I'll get the turbo out to show you guys the new stuff, hopefully very soon. And then in our off time, when we're not riding, we're doing fun stuff like builds and getting into other shenanigans. And we'll see everybody in the next video coming up really soon. I'm going to tear apart the white sled a little bit more, so that's it for this video, and we will see everybody very soon here.